So, hello everyone. How are you? Good evening or happy time zone, depending on where you're tuning in from. Hi, my name is Danielle. Thank you so much for the intro. I'm a full-time content creator, a Twitch partner, EA game changer, and an advisor. And I am also the co-founder of Black Twitch UK. So today I'm going to be introducing you to a world of culture that I have created through The Sims 4. So, the Simming and gaming community know me best as Ebonics or Ebonic Sims. I chose this name initially when I joined Tumblr in 2015, where there was quite a lot of custom content available for The Sims 4. All of the hairstyles that you see on these Sims right now are hairstyles that I have created for the game because mainly there isn't much available for us. So it has taken me some years to kind of hone my craft, but we've got there eventually. So I've always been a gamer, but I pretty much haven't been able to see myself in games. Custom content is game content generated by the community. And it doesn't come as part of the game. So essentially people download these mods and then put them in their game. Um, and it gives the game a little bit of extra spice, you know. I mean, I created the hair that you can see in the picture right here, but my sim would be nothing without her custom content. So what you see on her right now is like her skin tone, her lip gloss, her eyelashes, her top. Those are all custom content, and she wouldn't look the same without it. So I got into creating my own custom content when I really began to feel like I could not play a game that represented me. um, I didn't feel as though The Sims gave me the content that I needed to fully represent myself. So I said, okay, that we can do this. What can we do? We can do this. And so we did. And the rest is pretty much history. So I don't know about you, but whenever I play a game that gives me the option to create a character, I'm always going to make one that looks like me. So the most disheartening thing is to find that there's either very limited or absolutely zero content available to enable me to create a character that I wanted. So representation is key when it comes to the importance of kind of filling the gap within the sim community for me, especially. It's been really important for me because it's a game that has meant a lot to me for 20 years. That's how long the game has been around, and I've played it for so long. But this kind of generation of the game, the fourth generation, I really decided that it was enough, and I wanted to make a difference. So when it comes to creativity, I've had unlimited in access to inspiration, unlimited. The world is pretty much my muse. I'm able to be as creative as I want when creating hairstyles. And when it comes to us, I mean, we are pretty diverse when it comes to hair. All of the hairstyles that you see on these Sims right now are also hairstyles that I've created. Our hair is so diverse and it comes in many different textures and styles and colors, and I've got the opportunity to try and capture us in all of our beauty. So when it comes to inspiration, I was recently approached by a writer who was writing about young Black Sims 4 creators, and they actually all mentioned me, which it was really touching to know that. Um, in a way, it's a bit of a snowball effect. So if I've inspired four creators to start making custom content to make sure that we're represented, that then inspires four of their own and producing 16 new creators to add to representation within the community, inspiring others to see the importance of representation in a game that they love, and it's really game changing. I am a self-taught 3D artist. By craft, I'm actually a psychologist. So by trade, sorry, I'm a psychologist. I have a degree in psychology and counseling. So this is completely not this is completely not what I went to school for, but it has led me to create a kind of a life and kind of motivation and drive to want to do something different. And this is definitely the path that I see myself going on. So, I mean, The Sims isn't the only platform with issues when it comes to lack of, customization, character customization, and the lack of range. I mean, off the top of my head, I'm thinking of NBA 2K, which probably has one of the most robust create a player engine, and it's by far the least limited of all the games that I've played. However, games that also have quite robust creator character engines, such as Black Desert Online, Monster Hunter Iceborne, Animal Crossing, there's still the issue of kind of the lack of skin tone ranges, improper lighting, black and brown skin, lack of hair options. There's still a lot of work to do, kind of within the gaming industry when it comes to representation. So, it's not just The Sims. I am seeing it everywhere. And, Animal Crossing is the most recent example of games who are patching in uh, kind of content to make it feel a bit more representative, sorry. But in my head, I'm like, that's great, but you actually came out in 2020. So you shouldn't have to be patching in these things. These essentially should have already been in the game. So I'm kind of tired of us being the last thought when it comes to these kind of things. Why is our representation, why is us being seen in the game a last thought? We actually need to be kind of at the forefront when it comes to all over across the board. And I'm not just talking about us, I'm talking about people of color in general. We need to be at the forefront of if you have an option to create a character, to make sure that all of your player base can feel represented. The Sims has also followed the process of patching in additional content with their huge skin tone update. So this was updated 2 days ago, and I'm actually really proud to say that I helped advise and consult the Sims team with this update. So they've added over 100 skin tones with slider compatibility, which would allow you to even create your own skin tones. And it definitely shows that they've recognized the impact that kind of I've had, and there's also 4 other game changers. They've recognized the impact that they've had in the community and the importance of representation within the simming community. So I'm so happy to see this all come to light, and all of the hard work that has gone into ensuring that our player base are fully represented. So in terms of programs, I mean, like I said, I'm a self-taught 3D artist, but I'm sure like many 3D artists, I started my journey off with Blender, which is a free and open 3D character creation, 3D creator software, sorry. And it's really fantastic. There's loads of tutorials and YouTube forums, and there's so much help available. But I will say that when I first opened it, I closed it straight away. I looked at the open vast space and said, no, 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 not today. Nope. Nope. Not me. And I probably didn't revisit it for like maybe 8 months. And then I just kind of gave myself a pep talk and said, okay, we've got this, Danny, we've got this. And over time, as my skills developed and I got more complex with my kind of meshes and models, I started using Maya a little bit, depending on the complexity. And then for textures, I started using Procreate and Adobe Photoshop as well. So this is actually my very first hair mesh. Kind of after weeks of researching and asking questions, trial and error, I finally made my own hairstyle. And my hair was actually, this was my actual hairstyle at the time. So I cried because it felt so good that I was able to finally see myself in the game. And I just couldn't believe how much it meant to me to be able to actually create a sim that had my hairstyle, that looked like me. And it was just, it I still can't even get the words out because I'm still feeling away about the skin tones. But it's knowing what completing this meant for my future, where it would take me, the impact that it would have on the community going forward. And I put the child sim here as well because it staples the fact that when I was younger playing The Sims, I couldn't make little sim me. There was no resources, there was no options, no tools to make little sim me. So it's really important for me to be able to allow kids to see themselves in the game as well. And thanks to this, I've been very fortunate to have my work and content just featured across so many major gaming platforms. I mean, we're talking BBC News, The Sims and EA, Polygon, Vice, Kotaku, The Guardian, Red Bull. There's so much, and it shows how important it is to be keep on having this conversation, and how important representation is in gaming. Allowing people to see themselves in game when they pick up a controller is my very, very kind of primary goal. I want people to be able to see themselves in the game. So, other accomplishments for me when it comes to Twitch as well, I was the first UK Black female Twitch partner. Shock, horror, I know this happened in February, but luckily we've got 4 more amazing Black female partners who've joined me up here. But it was really such a massive accomplishment, and I've been really trying to ensure that on the platform, because not just in game but within the gaming space, that also Black women are visible and seen and getting the same opportunities as their white counterparts. And that's also why I co-founded Black Twitch UK. So it is essential for me and my friend to give streamers within the UK who aren't often given opportunities and access to I guess kind of the spotlight to do just that. So we've held events like Twitch Hill, where we brought Notting Hill Carnival to the Twitch streets, and also Black History Month 2020, where we had a host of guests and events and poetry, and it was really amazing. So just kind of stapling our place within the UK on Twitch and letting everyone know that we are actually here and we've got a lot of content to do. So, with the future of representation, the kind of things that need to change for me would be better creator character options, hiring more Black devs, because, people create stories from their experience. And if there aren't enough, Black or people of color devs, or any people within the kind of a marginalized category, if you don't have those people on the team, how can you make quite accurate stories? um, a directory of 3D artists who actually know how to create more hair like this. So again, all of these hairstyles are hairstyles that I've created, put in the game, and want people to use for free, because I'm also weary of there being a paywall between people accessing content to make them look like themselves. So I ensure that on my website I have all of my content up for free. People can download it, and there's no issue of them having to pay to be able to look like themselves. So future goals, I definitely want to continue championing in this field. I want to keep the conversation going. It's been so I've been doing this for 5 years, kind of on and off part-time. It's only been 2 years, or no, 1 year and a half that I've been doing this full-time. So I can only imagine what I can do in the next 5 years and the next 5 years after that. Especially if the gaming industry is recognizing the importance of representation more and more. So there's definitely room for me to kind of make a massive difference, not just within The Sims, but within the gaming industry as a whole. Thank you everyone for listening. I know I probably went over time, and I'm so, so sorry. But if you want to reach me, hit me up. You can find me on Ebonic Sims everywhere. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my talk.